Hey guys, Scott here from the Mental Metal channel and mentalmetaldetecting.com, and today we are going to dissect the Equinox 800 and determine whether or not it really does perform on the beach. And I think as the picture alludes, I think you pretty much know the answer from starting out here. But I need to set this up properly because, as many of you know, that I have not been in the camp of the Equinox for a very long time. I never really liked the machine, didn't want a machine, just was not a believer. I had my XP Deus. I love that machine. I still love that machine, for the record. But everybody kept giving me all kinds of crap about not, giving the Equinox a chance and blah, blah, blah. Well, Fort Bedford detectors, talked to Keith. Keith talked me into trying one of these machines, and so voila, here we are. I'm in front of you in a camera right now, getting ready to eat crow because I took this machine to Hilton Head, South Carolina for a week and gave it a good run through and tested it out. Now, I'm no expert with the machine. Let me just say that right from the start. I am not an expert with this machine. I've used it probably 5 times since I've had it, and I really got to put it through its tests here at the beach over the last week or so. So up front, I will tell you up front, I'm pretty impressed with the Equinox on the beach. I'll just say it. And I'm going to eat my crow, but I'm only going to eat it in small little morsels because I'm still not convinced that it's a better machine on land just yet. Then again, I have not used it on land hardly at all yet. So I'll eat my crow, but I'm only going to eat a little at a time. But I will tell you this to give you a heads up. I hunted Hilton Head, South Carolina for the last 10 years with different machines. And you're going to tell me, well, why did you use these machines at the beach knowing that they probably weren't going to work? Listen, I'm not a man with endless pockets. I don't have the budget to go out and buy every beach machine there is to test and make a good comparison. The machines I used on the beach for the last 10 years are the ones I owned. So I tried to make them work the best I could. And I started out using the Garrett AT Pro. And everybody knows that machine does not do well in wet sand. And I tried to make that work. And I actually found stuff with it. There are a few little tricks you had to kind of do to the machine to get it to work a little bit. But depth-wise, the machine just does not like wet sand. And it just becomes unstable. You can do a couple tricks like remove the coil, cover, that'll settle down a little bit, but overall the depth is just not good with the AT Pro. The next machine I've tried was the White's TDI pulse machine. Now, that machine actually worked really well on the beach, except it loves to find bobby pins, and you will dig a mountain of those things. I didn't think those things were still around, but they are, and you'll find every one of them with that machine. The other problem I have with that machine, it's not waterproof, so I was really concerned about getting water in the box or damaging the controls somehow. And I bought that machine because I was going to Culpeper to hunt the red dirt of Culpeper, so I didn't want to screw that box up before I got there, so I was really worried about that. Then I have the XP Deus. Now, when I bought the XP Deus, I did not buy it for a beach machine. I bought it for a relic machine and a coin machine, and it's been a fabulous machine for me. I consider myself probably an expert in using it because I've been using it so long. I just know all the ins and outs. And so I'm not going to sit here on camera and tell you that I don't like that machine anymore, because it is not true. I still love that machine. I will still continue to use it. And I even got it to work pretty decent at the beach. The problem with it on the beach is you had to really tweak it. I know a lot of people don't like messing with their machine, and I get it. I mean, it's a machine you really got to mess with to get it quiet, and it really never gets quiet. But I did pretty well with the Deus. I know I wasn't getting a lot of depth with it, but I still did pretty good for the machine itself. Now, would I use it over the Equinox? Absolutely not. The Equinox to me is that and everything else combined. It is truly, it hurts me to say this, it is truly the real deal. I mean, it crushes it at the beach. It's a gold monster. Now, granted, I was only there 4 days and 4 nights at the beach this year. I can tell you on the very first night I went out that I found more rings in one night than I found in 10 years going to Hilton Head. Now, I could have just been lucky, walked over the rings and just found them, but some of them were really deep. I'm talking 10 plus inches, and I know the Deus and the AT Pro, the TDI would have found them, but those other machines would never have heard those rings. So the picture in front of you is everything I found for 4 days. I dug every single target that popped in to my ears, give or take a couple pull tabs. I got pretty good at figuring out what pull tabs were by the end of the day, by the end of the week. Bottle caps, I got pretty good at figuring out what a bottle cap was, but I still dug them anyway. I just wanted to have the quantity of what I dug, so I could show you guys that in 4 days at Hilton Head, I did pretty good. All in all, I ended up with 6 rings. 2 of them were actually gold. One was 14 karat. One I think is 10 karat. It's hard to see the mark on it. And then the other one I got was a silver wedding band. And the other ones were junker rings, but still, 6 rings in 4 days is crazy for me. I just blew it out of the water. So the Equinox itself, on the beach, it loves the wet sand. In fact, you don't even have to do much to this machine to turn it on and go. That's what I liked about it. In about 3 minutes, I was swinging the coil and on the beach finding stuff without doing any kind of like modifications. Now, I did tweak the machine a little bit in a couple spots. I did change the recovery speed from like 5 or 6 down to 3. At Hilton Head, you don't need to have fast recovery speeds because there's not much in the sand. So I want to get a little extra depth, so I dropped it to 3. And I think that helped me a lot. I honestly do. The other thing I changed by default, the Beach 2 program, which is the program I was using, starts out with 5 tones. I wanted to use 50. I like the sound of 50 tones over 5. It's a little bit different, a little variant in the way the target sounded. So I liked 50 tones over 5. But out of the box, 5 tones, recovery speed 5 or 6, whatever the default is for Beach 2. Hey, it works, and you don't need to do anything. You can just go. So in 3 minutes or less, you're out swinging, which is really awesome. You don't need the ground balance. Don't need to do any of that stuff. It's just that simple to use. It is one of the simplest machines I've ever used, and honest to God truth, it is that simple to use. If I can use a machine on the beach, that machine on the beach, anybody can. Why did I pick Beach 2 over Beach 1? I did use Beach 1 a couple times, and it was fine for me. I didn't have any issue with it. I did not hunt a lot of the dry sand. I stayed really close to the surf line, or I was in the surf line. I wasn't in too deep, just basically where the surf was breaking. And I got out there every night about at least an hour before low tide so I could start walking. And I probably walked up and down the beach, give or take 3 or 4 passes, about a mile each way. So I probably did about 2-3 miles a night walking. Don't know for sure if that's correct or not. All I can tell you is by the end of the night, my feet hurt and I was tired. But I was only out about 3 hours each night and each morning. So the tide schedule was perfect. I caught them, early in the morning when low tides came in, or when low tide was out early in the morning. So I had a lot of time to hunt before the people started arriving. And at night, the low tide came in right around dark. It was perfect. So I could stay out later, but not too late. I was in by probably 11 o'clock every night, and it wasn't too bad at all. So I really lucked out this trip. Usually it's not the case. Usually I'm going to have to get up like 2 in the morning and get out there, but not the case this time around. So what did I find? Well, in the screen here, this picture I'm showing you, I found a ton of stuff, and in the article itself I put out a table and list all the things, but just in summary real quick, in clad I found $4.04 in clad. I found 5 pair of sunglasses. The one pair, actually, do I have them right here? Yeah, actually I have them right here. This pair of sunglasses they're called the Oakley, or made by Oakley's. They're called Cold Fuse, and if you look these up on the internet, they're about $200, or about a $200 pair of sunglasses. I found these buried in the sand. There's not a scratch on them, folks. They're perfect, and I love them. They look so good on me. It's my new style. I love it. So $200 pair of sunglasses, I got them, and that's exciting to me. That made the trip right there. I also found a pair of Calcutta wire, or not wire snips, Calcutta fish, what the heck am I looking for the word? Needle nose pliers are for fishing. Super nice. They cost about 30 bucks, and I found those buried in the sand. So some people lost some pretty good old treasure out there at Hilton Head. And in addition to the rings, pretty amazed I found 6 rings. But I did find a little junker bracelet, pretty interesting lighter. I'm not really going to show that. It's probably not appropriate to show on YouTube. Did find over 40 bottle caps, Matchbox car, and some other odds and ends, some fishing weights and whatnot. The normal stuff you would find. But overall, it was a great trip, great hunt. Highly recommend the Equinox if you're going to the beach. If you're thinking about buying an Equinox, I highly recommend you guys check out Keith and Fort Bedford Metal Detectors. They really hooked me up with this machine, and I can't thank them enough for it. I'm actually really excited now that I have a machine I know works on the beach, and I'm confident in when I use it I'm gonna find stuff. That's what you feel when you use Equinox. It's that good of a machine on the beach. It really is. I'm trying to think of what else could I share with you. Oh, and while I was out there hunting on the beach one night, I ran into another YouTuber, and it was pretty cool seeing this guy. I mean, I knew him when he started his channel way back when, about the same time I started mine, or shortly thereafter. But John Gurley from the Dig That Beep YouTube channel was on the beach metal detecting. So I walked over and talked to him for a while, and it was just a pleasure to chat with him. So if you guys, I'm gonna give him a shameless plug here, but go on over and check out Dig That Beep YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description video, in the description below. So yeah, it was just, John, it was nice meeting you finally, nice chat with you, and I think you did okay too for the time you'd spent on the beach. So but folks, go out there and check out his channel, Dig That Beep. It's a pretty good channel. And also, when you're metal detecting at night, you get to see some really crazy stuff sometimes. Sometimes you get to see some really crazy people as well. I didn't run into anybody crazy at night, but I did get a chance to see a baby sea turtle that was stuck on land. It could not get to the ocean. Low tide was out. There was no more waves hitting, and this thing was just not. It couldn't figure out where to go. It was just kind of like walking in circles. And there's a reason why they tell you to kind of not have your I guess flashlights on the beach. Use red lights, because red lights don't affect the eyes of the turtles. The turtles will actually get drawn to the light. So I tested that real quick with my flashlight. When I turned my flashlight on, that turtle started walking right towards it. So I quickly turned it off. I probably did something I shouldn't have, because they tell you not to handle the turtles, and if they catch you, I guess it's a big deal, a big fine. But I helped this little bugger out, try to get him out to sea. So I kind of gave him a little nudge here and there, and he finally made it, and off he went. So I feel good about that maybe that little dude will make it and grow up to be a big sea turtle and not get eaten by something else. What else? And I did see a water spout from a thunderstorm, so that was kind of cool. I'd never seen a water spout like that before. I've never seen a tornado in real life. Always heard about them, and there's always been ones that hit around where I live, but never really seen one. But I got to see a water spout. It was really cool. I took video of it, and there was actually 3 of them at one time, and I only caught the tail end of one of them, but it was still pretty cool. So you'll see that here on the screen. But all in all, it was an amazing trip down to Hilton Head. We stayed very, very COVID safe. We did not do anything besides go to our timeshare, stay indoors, only go to the beach, social distance. We did not come in contact with hardly anybody. I did talk to a bunch of people on the beach when I was metal detecting, but kept my distance from them, and so it was all good. But as a result of our governor here in Maryland, he recommends anybody coming back from some of those states, and South Carolina is one of them, that you get COVID tested. And so that's the first thing my wife and I did when we got back, was we got tested. So we did our part. And let me tell you, that test is no joke. I'm not going to go into detail, but whew, that's an interesting test. So that's it for me. I hope you guys liked the video. It was a little long, rambled a little long, but I had a lot to say about the Equinox, and I'm pretty impressed, like I said. And yeah, I would buy one in a heartbeat. If you're thinking about something that works well on the beach, does well on the land, waterproof, you know, they're decently priced. And talk to Keith; he can give you a good deal. But if you do talk to Keith at Fort Bedford, tell him I sent you. That's all for me, and I want to thank you guys for watching the video. And until next time, see ya in another mental metal video. And thanks for reading the article. Share it with all your friends. See ya.